Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I know a lot of people show all their successes and things like that, and as do I. But there are failures and there are mistakes, and I think showing them is important because it might be exactly the same mistake somebody else is about to make and it stops them doing it. As you know, I bought my Phalaenopsis, my Paphiopedilums and my two Psychopsis into the house for warmth. Yeah, well, that was plan A, and so far it's working fine. But there was a downside, silly mistake on my part. My Psychopsis that I nearly lost, basically, and I had to clean it all off and get the bad media off and everything, and I sat it on some moss with some bark in the bottom of the pot to see if it would grow some roots. Well, it's done that. I'm well pleased, and the new growth's pushing on as well. But we've had to say bye-bye to the spike. And, you know, that I've had this one some time, and the spike is a perpetual bloomer, single bloom on the top, and when it goes over, a new bud forms. Well, it won't be doing that again. Silly mistake on my part. How easy to overlook what ought to be obvious. And basically, when I brought the plants in, that was a very, very long spike. You know, and these shelves are not tall enough to accommodate the plant. So I mistakenly put it on the top shelf. Well, if you imagine that spike was up near there, literally right up near the ceiling. Where does hot air go? Hot, dry air, straight off the radiator. There's no circulating fans in the house. So where does that hot, dry air end up? Yep. Up where the ceiling is, and it totally dried that spike off. So I've lost that spike. It is said that if you cut a Psychopsis spike, it could branch out. So I have left it on there, but unfortunately, if it doesn't branch out, we're probably looking at least 2 years before we see that one again. And that was the nice Alba one that has the creamy yellowy colours without the red. I liked the bloom. It may be a while before we see those again, because even if it does branch out, it's still got to form up and get a bud on the end and sort of progress. Other stuff in here, this big Phalaenopsis was the one that has the almost white blooms with the pink flush that I like a lot. Very large bloomed Phalaenopsis, this one. And I don't normally do that, but as it was pushing a branch out, you know, it's the time of year when there's not a lot in bloom, so I let it go. But to me, that looks ugly. But once the blooms come out, I'll ignore that bit. It has actually got another spike coming out, so it is starting a new one. And I've got one down here that's forming buds up. That's a little mini phal. And that will be another one that can have a tag written out once it blooms, and I find out which one it is. Very slack on the tags during last year. As a consequence, we do have some unidentified plants. This is my Sweet Memory, and that's growing a new leaf. It's got a new root just about to start as well, plus another one pushing on there. I'm pleased with that, because that type of Phalaenopsis with these huge big fat strappy leaves can sit there and do nothing for some time and not push any new leaves out. But the spike on this had the blooms right on the end, and it looked like it was going to extend. Well, it didn't, it branched instead. So I've actually got 2 branches now that will push on. My other Psychopsis in here, lovely strong new growth over there. There's still not a lot of signs of roots in there, but it's had the same treatment as the other one had to try and encourage the roots. It's just sat in some moss with some bark underneath to make sure, you know. But I don't see any signs of roots yet, but it does have the strength to keep the bud going, so it's okay. Because that's the first thing that'll go. You know, on these types of plants, if they're not happy and they're struggling, they'll abort the bud on the top. But this one looks like it's going to push out. I was hoping that would be out for Christmas when the family are here. Because quite honestly, a Psychopsis bloom for non-orchidy people is quite a spectacle. Unusual shape and bright colours and everything. So, you know, they're a centre of attention, really. Out here... Oh, out here it's cold. You know, I better leave the door open and get a bit of heat in here, I suppose. Solstice. Yay! As from today, the days slowly but surely start getting longer. And in the UK, we all look forward to the reaching of the magic 11 hours. Because in the tropics, where most of our orchids come from, the day lengths stay between sort of 11 and 13 hours, and that's what the plants like. You know, I mean, in the summer we get up to 16 hours. And some struggle a bit because, you know, they exhaust themselves trying to use that daylight. But yeah, this time of year everything's just sitting here ticking over, slow-mo or no-mo, whatever, but not a lot. You know, there's things growing but not taking off like a rocket. But come that magic time again, we get out the other end of January and the rate of daylight change increases dramatically, and then through March it's at its greatest. Yeah, so and then we settle down for the summer and the proper growing season again. But I want to suggest something, and I'm open to comments. You've heard me say in the past, probably many times, you will never see adverts on my channel. Well, I might have to take it back. Because there's not a lot going out here, my workload's right down to next to nothing, so I'm twiddling my thumbs. So when I'm twiddling my thumbs, I tend to get on the computer and look things up and do some research and stuff like that, mainly for the plants. But I thought I'd have a look round on YouTube, and it's the way it works and everything. And quite honestly, although I'm quite happy with the number of subscribers I've got, if I don't monetize my channel, according to all the blogs and all the information I can find, it will stagnate and YouTube will ignore me. Yeah, I know my viewers won't ignore me. I'm quite happy with all that side of things. But YouTube promotes channels that are growing, and also ones it it thinks it can make some money out of by getting more views and getting people to look at the ads and things like that. Now, the one thing that really annoys me is adverts in the middle of videos, but looking into it, you don't have to do that. So basically, the basic monetization means there will be those short ads on the front, those little 5-second clips that you can't do anything about, or the larger ads, again, on the front of the video that you can skip out of after about 5 seconds, like we all do. You know, as soon as that skip ad comes up, we're on it like a rash. Or I am anyway. I'm not interested in the ads. But for the sake of the channel, you know, there are many ways which people find your channel. Now obviously you can go onto YouTube and just put in a general search. You could just type in orchids and you'll get a load of videos come up, and I doubt if any of mine will. Because it's not a monetized channel, YouTube has no vested interest in sticking my videos under people's noses, so it won't. I'll get ignored. The only time they can't ignore me is when somebody does a specific search, like if somebody types in dendrobiums, then because some of my videos have got the word dendrobium in their title, YouTube doesn't really get much of a choice. It can still go on number of views and popularity and all that sort of stuff. It's a complex algorithm. It's not worth trying to understand it because they chop and change it anyway. But I could have people that would be interested in my channel out there that have never found it. You know, I mean, I wonder how an orchid channel can get 50,000 subscribers. You know, that's an awful lot of subscribers. But reading up on it, basically they say if you're going to start a channel and you want to grow that channel, and let's face it, most of us would like our channel to get better with more views and stuff like that, then you should monetize it from day one. Well, I didn't, because I didn't like the idea. And quite honestly, with an orchid YouTube channel, with the exception of a few, and they're obvious, you can't make a living out of it. But I sort of stopped and thought, yeah, well, what about if I could make a little bit to pay the electricity bill, or perhaps get a new orchid now and again, you know, and actually feed it back into the channel, you know. So I may give it a go. I'm still looking into it. But I'd like to ask, you know, I'd like to ask your views. Yeah, I mean, you must all be used to it by now. I mean, I've just been going through watching the latest set of videos for the last couple of days. Most of them have got an advert on the front. We're all used to it. So would it be that much of a big deal if my channel looked like those and had those little ads on the front? I mean, YouTube can stick as many ads on the back end of the video as they like, because I'm sure nobody ever gets that far. I mean, the end of my videos have all got the same ending on them, and even though you might have watched it once, you probably won't watch it again. You'll skip out. So if they stick ads on the end, nobody ever sees them. I won't have ads in the middle, because that annoys the hell out of me. If I'm in the middle of listening to something and watching some interesting blooms coming up, and then I got to sit and watch a flipping advert that I can't get out of, it annoys me, so I won't do that. But say what you think. You know, I always said I wouldn't do it, but you know, everybody would like their channel to grow. So my channel's not going to change that much unless I allow those adverts on the front, at which point YouTube will take some notice of me and help promote my channel by actually pushing some of my videos alongside of other people's videos and things like that. You know the game. You all watch YouTube enough. So I'm thinking about it, but I'd like people's opinions. I don't think it's going to ruin my channel, because it'll only be those little clips on the front that you can either skip out of or don't last long, you know. And most of the other channels are doing it. So I wouldn't, you know, it would be a sudden change, quite honestly, if I do it. But what do you think? You know, it could help me out and promote my channel a bit more, and, you know, and then YouTube will help me grow, because at the moment it's just ignoring me. That's how it works. It's there to make money. It's not there for our pleasure. It's there as a business, and it's trying to make money, and that's how it does it, by chucking adverts under our face for us to ignore. How many people have ever clicked on one of those adverts on the front of an Orchid video? Because I certainly haven't. So they're there to be ignored, but YouTube will help channels that are monetized by promoting them accordingly. So what do you think? Honest opinions. You don't get shot down for disagreeing or anything like that, not on my channel. Honest opinions. If I do it, is it really going to make a lot of difference to the people that view my channel? Would they even notice? So say what you think, and it's not going to happen till the new year, you know, because I'll have to sit and think about it. I might have to make a few, like a promotional video. There's lots of advice that if you're going to monetize, there's a few things you ought to do to try and make your channel look a bit better, but they're in the background. They don't really matter. You know, people get to my videos however they get there, probably in their notifications sort of page or things like that, and all they're interested in really is getting on and watching the video. But 5 seconds on the front, it's not really the end of the world. So say what you think. Honest opinions either way. Would it make a difference? Is it going to put you off my channel, or will my channel just look like most of the others and you probably won't even notice after a few videos? So say what you think, and I might not be able to do any more videos until after the festivities have subsided, because I've got people round. I've got a busy day today. I've got to be out and about today getting last minute things done and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to call into work and say hello to the people I used to work with, those that are still there. So you know, I've got a lot to do today. So and then yeah, we're into it then. You know, we're into the weekend leading on to the Christmas Day and Boxing Day. The holiday starts. Our country will grind to a halt later today as everybody gets in their cars and tries to make their way to wherever they need to be. Oh, it's a funny country. Centimetre of snow or a holiday break like this and everything grinds to a halt. We're hopeless. Anyway, see you next time, and please give your opinions. What's going to be interesting now as the days slowly but surely get longer, for me, my real interest out here now is my resting dendrobiums. Who's going to be first to push some buds out? Probably not for 3 or 4 weeks yet. But, you know, I mean, my big nobily's already started. This one's pushing buds now. Only just showing, but they're there. You know, older canes seem to push out first, which is logical. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to watch this heap of green up here, the resting dendrobiums, suddenly start, hopefully, to push out some buds and or some spikes. There's quite a few non-bloomers in amongst those, and this is the best winter rest they've ever had. If they don't bloom now, I'm not sure they ever will. So this is the one. This is the late winter, early spring, where hopefully those are going to do their thing, and quite a few of them for the first time. We shall see. Anyway, see you next time, and please voice your opinions. Is those adverts stuck on the front, the short ones, going to really bother you, or will I just blend in with all the other channels that do that anyway? So we'll see how we go. Bye for now.